Hey guys, we all saw the torture testing I did on the USMC Fighter Flipper from Medford Knife and Tool. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to try to duplicate that test as close as possible with this Heeter MOW. It's same blade steel, roughly the same thickness, a little bit different shape, but roughly the same size. So stay tuned. I'm going to run outside, splice together pretty much duplicate of the test I did on the Fighter Flipper so that we can really see. I'm really just kind of interested on what the steel, this 3V steel does in compared to Greg Medford's 3V steel. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, we're dropping the MOW from about 10 feet. And we'll drop it one more time. Again, nothing really happened with the Fighter Flipper. Okay, this is the office chair mat, cardboard, plastic test. I just basically flipped over the one we had before, so. Okay. All right, here we go into the jerry can. Okay, we're gonna chop the wood like we did on the last one for the Fighter Flipper one, and then do a little baton. Okay, it's not exactly the same size piece of wood we had the last time, but very similar. One more chop here. Same thing with the gloves, a little bit hard to manipulate. So we'll go back in on the table and review this side by side with the other. Thanks. Okay guys, we finished up the testing on the Heeter MOW. All in all, it performed well. It was a little different doing this test to actually try to mimic exactly what I had done the last time. So I think it came out a little bit different, but all in all, it's basically the same. I will tell you though, that the knife is not supposed to injure the user. It's supposed to take care of whatever the task is. And this was fairly painful. It's an uncomfortable knife to use in the manner that I was using it. So it's hard to tell here, but it kind of ate away at my thumb here just a little bit. And I was wearing gloves during most all of it, as you saw. And while it did penetrate the jerry cans, not really a problem. It didn't go as deep in. It only went in about, that far, just because of the width of the blade, which I get. And we've got the Fighter Flipper here. This is a much narrower and a more, kind of pointy, stabby type of, shaped blade. So it's not an exact test. So it did go in about this far. It cut the cardboard fine, not quite as well as this Fighter Flipper. And it had trouble stabbing through the plastic office chair mat, just because it wasn't really supported well before, because it was already halfway damaged and chopped up, so it just wasn't standing properly. So, but all in all, it was a similar test, albeit a little different. It had a lot of trouble. It took a little longer chopping through that, I think it was a 2x2 piece of wood. And then in the batoning, at the very beginning of the batoning, the lock had disengaged, and I don't know why. I don't know if my hand was on it somehow with the gloves and it kind of loosened the lock. I'm not sure what happened there. I can tell you, though, that the damage, you can hear some blade. That's the blade moving open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. So there is, I don't know if that just needs to tighten up the pivot a little bit, which could do it. I just didn't do that until after I've done this kind of quick update. But I'm going to zoom in here on the blade, because really my goal with this was to see if there was going to be any damage on the blade like there was on the Fighter Flipper. And there's really only one piece right about here where it kind of deformed the edge. This one is still sharp enough to cut paper, where the Fighter Flipper is not. The Fighter Flipper has a little bit of side-to-side blade play, where this one has a little bit of open-close blade play. Granted, with this MOW, it does have the grenade pin style lockup, which turns it into a fixed blade, so to speak. But I didn't use that because really we were comparing, apples and apples. It was what the whole point of the operation was. But even through the gloves, this jimping here on the back of the blade, or of the scale, is what kind of dug into my hand. Whether that was during the stabbing of the jerry can, I don't know. But I will tell you that the chopping of the 2x2 was very fatiguing on my hand and very kind of painful. And I actually almost stopped in the middle of that just because it was very uncomfortable in my hand, even with the gloves. So let me see if I can do kind of a side by side here, the blades, because really that was my goal, was to see what the blades did. And if there was, I think it's pretty evident that there's less damage on the Heeter's blade than there is on the Fighter Flipper. But I'll link to the Fighter Flipper testing video down below also, so that you can go and check that out. So what's next for these? They're both going to go back to Jake, the Medford guy, who's going to sharpen both of them and then send them back so that we can do some, just straight cutting tests. And yeah, I should have done the cutting test before I did the abusive tests. And what do you want for nothing? Okay, come on. I was more excited about destroying the stuff and seeing what would happen than actual cutting. Okay, so, but we will do that in part 2 of both of these again. All right, let me know in the comments down below what you think. And we'll be looking for some more ideas on the regular cutting testing as well. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I think even with the damage of the Fighter Flipper, it was more comfortable in the hand, and I would say that this one is a winner over the MOW because it was just very, very, very uncomfortable and ate away at my thumb. So I have to give the win to the Fighter Flipper. Not that we were judging, but yeah, you know, when you injure the user, it's kind of a no-brainer for me. So thanks, guys. We will see you on the next one.